Donald Trump is not as intelligent as the average person. Give me 3 minutes and I'll explain this to you. Now, Trump is really hunkering down on tariffs. The Supreme Court judged unanimously that tariffs are a form of taxation and the Congress should be making decisions on taxation. This is not an executive power. However, he has doubled down on tariffs. Not only is this morally broken, this is unintelligent. Now, on the topic of economics, I am strictly an average individual. I'm a physician. I'm not an economist. I have no education in economics at all. But let's quickly go through why tariffs don't work. Number one, unlike what he keeps saying, they're not paid by other countries. Tariffs are paid by his own American people, American companies and American consumers. They are the ones who pay the tariffs. 150 billion plus have been paid. 1,700 on average per household. And unfortunately, it's a very regressive form of taxation. You could describe it like a sales tax, something taken upfront like a value-added tax in the UK. But because it's so regressive, it's because it affects everyone equally, which means for a person in the lower economic segment, this would be a larger proportion of their income. While if you're a millionaire or billionaire, it would be a very small proportion of your income. But regardless, Trump brags about the $150 billion in his coffers. However, if you have already taxed your citizens, you cannot tax them twice. If, for example, it is more expensive for a builder to import lumber and aluminum from Canada, and so that American builder's bottom line goes down, that American builder will do one of two things. Either his product will become more expensive, so the consumer has to foot the bill, and or his own profits will go down. The net result of both situations is the same. American taxpayers will pay less tax because their income went down. And so while tariffs look attractive to the government because it is money up front, a sales tax, your citizens pay less income tax at the back end, at the end of the year. Secondly, how do countries react to tariffs? They implement their own sets of tariffs. That reduces your exports, that reduces your income. Again, less income tax. Thirdly, there is lots of historical evidence that tariffs, which is a form of protectionism, makes your products less competitive in the long term. A good example is Chinese EVs. You can keep tariffing them for as long as you like, but in free market capitalism, it is competition which improves the quality of your product. Historically, Japan used to implement a lot of tariffs to protect their own companies, and this is when the South Koreans leapfrogged Japanese companies in technology because the lack of competition made them complacent. The same is happening to North American EVs companies today compared to Chinese EVs. And finally, the entire financial system is based upon trust. United States is the most indebted country in the whole world. Other countries buy American bonds to keep the American financial system afloat. The American dollar is used as reserve currency across the world. If you break that trust, the entire American financial system could come tumbling down. It's very likely that it was these kinds of threats which made Donald Trump backtrack on Greenland. There are rumors that it was Mark Carney who spearheaded that kind of a counter threat, like he has done in the past as well. So not only is Donald Trump morally broke, he's also not as intelligent as your average individual when it comes to economics. And all I have to say to Americans is, next time, please vote for someone who's got some moral clarity, who's not an ex-felon, hanging out with pedophiles, who's just playing the system, has gone bankrupt dozens of times, doesn't pay tax, and doesn't understand basic geopolitics, economics, and has no idea of historical allies, historical friendships, geopolitics in general. Vote for someone who has better than average intelligence and better than average morality.